Welcome back to the Abundant Harvest Homestead, guys. I'm Papa Pepper. You can see I'm chopping up some fish. Right now it's quillbacks, which are a type of sucker. They look more like a silver carp with a big high fin on the back. And then also some suckers that I've recently harvested down at the lake. I'm about to do something I've only done once before. I did 2 batches, but it was only 1 day. And that's can with the pressure canner. I'm kind of the hot water bather around here. I started hot water bathing back when we lived in Wisconsin, putting up old plums, jellies, probably some pickles and stuff like that. But it was new to me at that time. And now this is new to me now, because since we started running the pressure canner, it was always Mama Pepper. I'm gonna show you a little bit of the process. Really, I just take a nice big fillet, okay, which is easy to get off the fish. I got a full video on how to fillet a fish if you're interested. But after I fillet it, these got tiny bones in them. Carp, suckers, quillbacks. So by pressure canning them, it turns them kind of nice and crunchy, where they're no longer a threat to your throat or internal organs as you swallow them. And yeah, kind of like canned salmon. Then we got some nice bones you can actually eat. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about this, and I'll show you a little bit of the process, and then I'll show you a little bit of what we've done this year already. And processing and pressure canning this stuff, it can seem intimidating if you don't have experience with it, but it is so easy. Let me show you a rundown of what we're doing. I've got actually 16 jars over here. Behind me is another 16 jars. There's 16 jars in here. It's still at about 5 pounds pressure, and it's dropping. This is the 4th batch because we already got 1 put away. But here's the process. When I fillet the fish, I just cut it into chunks after I fillet it. I'll take these, bring them up to the top, give them about 1 inch of head space, and add a pinch of salt, about a half teaspoon. And that's about it. So here, I'll just make sure it's packed a little tighter. But honestly, like, this is my jar here, okay? That's my load, that's my jar. I'm gonna do that to all these, add a pinch of salt to them all, put the caps on finger tight, and then put 3 quarts of water in here, put the thing on the bottom, add 8, put a spacer, add 8 more, and bring it up to 11 pounds of pressure for 100 minutes. It's absolutely crazy to me how easy this is. And on our end, with these suckers, I'm finding we're getting about 32 jars, 32 pints for about 40 fish. So we're almost getting like 1 per, which is crazy. And then soon, the carp will be running, and those will be even, you know, like 2 to 4 probably pints per fish. 2 or 3 for sure. But we'll have to see. I'll experiment then. This is so easy. And it's something we can all do together. So I got to keep a careful eye on these things. All we do is get it up to 11 pounds pressure for 100 minutes. It's very, very simple. And this now is my 3rd time with this current batch, and this brings me up flush with all the fish that we had available at the moment. We did go out last night because 2 days ago the carp began to spawn, but its weather is not cooperating, so it's going to be a slow kind of buildup. And I did shoot 3 last night, got a couple of those on video and a couple pictures I'll roll now. But then I'm going to show you a little bit of the supply that we got just off the suckers and why that's really cool. There were carp up in the shallows here. I'll see if there's any more in this tube. I hit it. I'm in it. Oh, that's a fish. First carp of the year, and it's off. Spined it pretty good. Second shot of the night. First carp of the year. Look at it, guys. See that? Hold on! Come on. That's number 2. Don't get away from me now. Nope, 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 nope. What was that? Hey, here was my first one.
Your second one got out. One of them got out. How? We will do it again. I will. Look at it.
Yeah, take it.
No.
Nathan.
Nathan.
I'm back over here. You'll have to get it.
Okay.
All right, Pop, get it. It's big.
Oh, that was awesome. Nathan,
I almost stepped
she
on
just put me on this one right in front of her. You guys hold your position, let Nathan come. I'm gonna take this to the bucket and I'll rejoin you in a minute. Look at that one.
I was making sure the
Here.
fish went.
Oh, that's your job. Get that in the bucket.
Come here. Oh my. This
It's a two-handed job, and go for the gills. Shove your hand in their gills.
How?
Probably on both sides.
How? Whoa. Can't really things.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Put down your flashlight.
Oh, this is big.
There you go. Yeah, head first. There you go. Now stay back a little bit. Boy, guys, events. There's one. It's on the move.
Whatever it is, wow.
Oh, here it is. Because I'm savage.
That's a second.
It was on the move. Interesting place for a sucker.
That is.
You guys see that? Never give up. My kids taught me that. They've done a lot of things that I would have not done. You know, I would have quit way before they did, but they gave it a chance and they succeeded. What? Oh. So with that footage there, that was the first time we were actually able to go out and start shooting some carp for the year. I did check out today, and the weather is just not where it needs to be to get those things up and spawning. They were out there, but they were deeper, they were murky. You couldn't really get a sight on them. I know that with the footage I showed you, it's pretty dark. Probably didn't see a lot of it. And a couple of those, and you can go back and look, you can probably see that fish just moving there. It's very important as well to know the fish and be able to identify them. I was teaching some guys recently a little bit about bow fishing, and you know, there's ones that'll look green. That's often going to be a nice largemouth bass. We saw some the other night in the creek when we were shooting some quillbacks and suckers. Also, we saw a nice walleye the other night, and its eyes were like glowing. It was crazy to see. But you can't shoot game fish. You can shoot the rough fish, can't shoot the game fish. And also in that video, that last carp that I shot, we were trying to teach a young friend of ours a little bit more about bow fishing. We've taken him out his first times. He used to use our gear. Now he bought some of his own, and he's getting excited about it as a way to provide for his siblings, for his family. And it's a good skill that a young man can have that by the time they're my age, I mean, look behind me. This is just a portion of the provision so far. And even with those first carp that we got, I actually shot 2 suckers that night and three carp. So out of 7 shots, I got 5 fish. But those are some big fish. Yeah, some pretty big fish. They could fill multiple pint jars just off of one of those fish. And as I mentioned earlier in this video, for about 40 suckers, I'll get about 32 pints, which is 2 loads in the pressure canner. Just kind of good stuff to keep in my head so I know what all we're doing. But with those carp, we actually sent them home with our friend. He didn't actually get any fish that night. We wanted him to take the shot that I took on that last one, but he was too far away. I was already, you know, at full draw and aiming at it. I should have let Pinky Pepper take it. Okay.
All right, Pop, get it.
and made her take that shot and just provided a backup arrow for her, next time that's what we're gonna do. And she's itching to shoot a carp too. Took her out last year, didn't actually connect with her first one, but she's got some suckers under her belt now this year, so we're looking forward to that. But with this pressure canning, and I've got another video I'm gonna talk about some things about it, but like I said, very simple process. And if you look behind me, this is what we've got going on. In the harvesting, I can pretty much get a year's supply of food for my family when it comes to canned fish. I'm not gonna buy canned salmon anymore. I'm not gonna buy canned tuna anymore. Now the sucker here, and that's all we've canned so far this year, is quillback and just the regular sucker, and quillback is a type of sucker. I haven't even started canning carp for the year. The first time we ever started canning carp was last year, and I'll do a separate video about that because I think it's interesting how that all came about. But now here I probably sit with over 100 jars. This isn't all of them, and these are stacked a couple deep. The top row's just got one, and then we're at two. This is probably like 4 deep. My counter's pretty full over here. But by learning the lake and kind of learning the seasons and how things work, I can sit there during about a 2 or 3 week period during the sucker spawn and put up a year's supply of canned fish. I can also do that during the carp spawn, and I'm going to do that probably with both of the fish this year. I do have a number of people who are very interested in bow fishing, very interested in the provision that we have found in something like canning our own fish, that want to come out. So I've got my eye on the lake a lot more than I would if it was just for me, because I want to be able to have people come out when it makes the most sense. Spent a couple hours earlier there today for nothing. I didn't actually get any fish. You know, so I want it where we can go out and over the course of a couple hours have a good pile of like 20 nice sized carp, get them a whole bunch of cans of canned fish, and let them have a good supply. By taking that brief moment of time during the sucker spawn here or the carp spawn in the spring and making the most of it and actually getting a decent harvest, now with the help of a skill like pressure canning, I can put up a year's supply, and those other 50 weeks out of the year where these guys are going to be hard to come by, I don't have to go harvest them fresh because I've already got them canned up. An added benefit of the canning process for a fish like sucker is that the suckers and the carp and the quillback, which are a type of sucker, all have a lot of little bones in them. A lot of people call them Y bones because they kind of come down like 2 into 1, and they're through there. When you can them, much like little crunchy bones and, you know, canned salmon, you don't need to clean them. You know, you don't need to get them out of there. If we just fry this fish, we got to pull bones out of the pieces of stuff we fry. That's one reason I like filleting bass, and one reason I like filleting bluegills is that you can get, you know, boneless cuts of meat. That's not going to happen as easy with suckers or carp. One other method that I'm also learning, like I just started pressure canning for the first time in my life last week. And that was crazy because I went out with my girls and we shot a good pile of fish. It was rather impressive. Out of that one harvesting of fish, we actually got 48 pint jars put up. Okay, I came home and the next day I ran 2 loads in the pressure canner. I did 16 and then I did 16, so that was 32. My wife came in the following day, Mama Pepper, and she did another 16 of them, so that was 48 out of that harvest. But I also put up 2 gallon containers of pickled sucker. Now these pickled sucker, the process that I'm using is actually going to be about a week long process. They were in 5 days to begin with in my brine. Now I've got them mixed in here with some pickling spice and some onions and some other stuff. And this is going to take about another 2 days. So starting tomorrow or the following day, it's going to be ready for us. I grew up on things like pickled herring periodically. New Year's is one time we would definitely have it. A lot of my relatives would pickle suckers back up in Wisconsin, or they'd pickle the northern pike. Those fish, bony. So it's a way that people would like to do it. I actually somewhere had my great-grandma's, my paternal great-grandma's recipe for pickled sucker, and I've got to locate that again because I want to try that. I may not get the opportunity this year, but next year I at least want to try that and see what that's like, because you know, that's something kind of with my heritage and my ancestors and the connection to how my people have done things in the past, and I would definitely like to check that out. Now this, after enjoying pickled herring, I want to do this every year. I still got to taste test this, and I'm looking forward to that, but a lot of times for myself, I wouldn't go to the store and buy pickled herring because it's just too expensive. But if I can make a couple of gallons of this and have it ready in my fridge whenever I want, you know, for the spring into the summer, I'm so excited for that. And boy, I cannot wait for the taste test of this. Now, as far as I know with the pickled sucker, I don't know if there's a way to make that shelf stable. It seems like more of a refrigerator thing where I make it and then put it in the refrigerator. I've got to look into some stuff and talk to some of my aunts and uncles and see about that. I love something that's shelf stable because I don't want to imagine devoting that much of your freezer just to one type of fish. With the canned sucker, it's milder than the carp, and it has a tuna-like flavor, but it's kind of, it's a weak tuna flavor. It's there, but it's weaker. This is a little more, I almost want to say bland of a fish, which there's plenty of things you can do to spice things up, right? And actually on a couple of these, besides adding just a pinch of salt, some of them I have labeled I added also a bit of lemon juice, and some other ones I added a little bit of liquid smoke, just to play around with it a little bit, see if that's something we like better. Now the canned carp we found is a very good substitute for if you're making like a tuna salad. Take some of our cans of canned carp, mix that up, add your mayo, add your celery, add your pickles, whatever you normally would do in your tuna salad. And multiple people we've blessed with the opportunity to try some have said that they actually like it better than real tuna. They like it better. And how cool is it to eat something local that a lot of people consider to be a trash fish, which I'll get into that in another video about these guys. It's just very interesting to have something local most people call a trash fish that all of a sudden you like better than what's common these days. And a lot of people, if I actually made carp salad and didn't tell them what it was, they would look at it, they would smell it, they would taste it and be like, oh, tuna salad. They wouldn't even think about it. The other thing is we used to enjoy eating salmon loaf or salmon patties. They make a wonderful carp loaf and carp patty, so I'm looking forward to making some out of suckers too, seeing what they're like. Looking forward to making some like with some like the buffalo sauce you'd have for hot wings for chicken. Want to make some patties out of this with some of that and see how we like that. So anyway, whether it's canning and running the pressure canner for the first time, okay, my wife's only got a couple years in on this. I just started last week. I've only done it 3 times. Once was today just to finish up the fish that we had in the fridge from one of our last harvests, to get it put up for the year, to invest my time and effort right now when it's easy to have a good supply on hand for the future. I love that idea, and this is one reason too I've got to get my root cellar finished. But you can see it's raining. Maybe you can't see. Maybe you can hear. Maybe you can't even hear. But I can see and hear that it's raining right now. So I can't exactly be working on that at the moment. But then also same thing with pickling here. It's another new skill I do not have previously. It's something that I'm adding to my list of kind of skills I've mastered, or at least have a familiarity with, to the point that I can succeed at the task. So that's my goal. I can't wait to try this, and I'm so happy for this, and I cannot wait to do the same thing with the carp. So I will see you guys next time. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you want to see a thing on this, I might still be able to do one. Otherwise, I could probably just share the recipe in a card, post it to my community page or something with a picture of this. But I'll probably do a taste test, and I'll give you a rundown of the process. If I'm able to get some more, maybe I'll make a full video on just pickling these, but I'm so excited. And this is half of what I've got almost ready. We'll see you next time. Papa out.
Thank you for watching. Hit the that button. Thumbs up.